Thank you very much. So today's presentation is about the execution of track and trace implementation in a fully remote manner. We prepared this case study together with Vimachem. First, I'd like to give you a short introduction. The case study is presented by Alex Vidras. He's VP, Vice President of Business Development at Vimachem, but he will talk to you later on. And myself, my name is Niels Albrecht. I'm working at Medice Arzneimittel. I'm a junior business process manager and FMD coordinator. I work in the serialization team at Medice, and one of our main scopes is to coordinate serialization projects for EU and non-EU. We also do a lot of process optimizing, and we focus on international regulations and the execution of serialization steps in our production. We basically keep an overview of all serialization steps at Medice. Yeah, and this is what we do. I'd also like to give you a quick presentation of Medice. Medice is those are pictures of how it all began. Medice was founded in 1949 by Mr. Pütter. It's still a family-owned business, and in the second and third generation. Medice is an international oriented and expanding pharmacy company. We are one of the most successful pharmaceutical family companies in Germany, and yeah, we have around 500 to 600 employees here. Our product range is self-medication, nephrology, revitalization therapy, and ADHD. We generate our revenue from, or we generate it worldwide from more than 50 countries. On the left-hand side, you can see our own subsidiaries. We have subsidiaries in Austria, Denmark, Netherlands, Norway, Russia, and Switzerland. But let's move on with the case study. So first, I'd like to give you a background of about our activities in this area. We first serialized a batch in 2018 using SSM. SSM stands for, oh, sorry about that. SSM stands for Serialized Serialization Site Manager. It's the product that is provided by Vimachem. We serialize for EU and non-EU, and that also includes Russia, but this is a current project we're focusing on. Initially, we tried to develop an in-house software solution for serialization, but we recognized that it's very challenging, and we had limited resources. So we moved to another approach. We moved to the best of breed multi-vendor approach. We now have 3 suppliers. Our machine supplier is Vipotec OCS. The site software supplier is Vimachem, and the level 4 and 5 is realized by TraceLink. We also use our Infor ERP system for automatic transmission of orders to level 3. So we have an interface there. And this is our main structure of the serialization process at Medice. The next slide deals with our project experience so far in serialization with multi-vendors. And of course, this includes Vimachem. One of our biggest projects was the implementation and the validation of Vimachem. I'd like to give you an insight on the project flow. The duration of the project was about 2 months. You can see a rough schedule below. We performed a remote kickoff, and we also performed weekly meetings. In those, we talked about progress and challenges of the project. This was very helpful to gain ongoing progress in the project. The installation was performed remotely. We also did tested the connection to OCS and tracing, so to make sure that the interfaces work. After that, we did the validation execution for 2 environments, for the test environment and the production environment. And there we also included the interfaces to the production line and to level 4 and 5. Another project was the Russia compliance. The basic procedure didn't change in this project. We did remote kickoff. We organized weekly meetings again with Vimachem and Tracelink, and we performed the end-to-end validation remotely, but I will talk about this later on in a more detailed way. The third project was the integration of an additional production line. Again, we had the same approach here. We did connecting testing, remote validation, and I think this was or especially the team collaboration was a success factor in this project. And yeah, now I'd like to move on to the fourth topic. It's an ongoing topic. It's remote support. We do troubleshooting together with the colleagues, and also preparation of layouts. And it's quite useful to have remote support available in a few cases, so you can reach out and get help there immediately. Another topic is the non-EU serialization. For example, we have a different approach for Jordan and Turkey. There we don't upload data to a hub ourselves. We use Vimachem to edit CSV and XML file for manual data transmission to our partner. Yeah, and yeah, this is a different approach. As I said before, I'd like to talk about the end-to-end validation more detailed. I'd like to explain how the process works. So in our case, Vimachem quality team provides the validation package. This also includes the interfaces of Vimachem to OCS and Tracelink. And our quality team reviews those documents, makes changes if necessary, and finally approves them. After this final approval, the validation execution can start, and this is performed by Vimachem and us remotely. I'll give you a practical overview of an example for the Russia validation. We did it, or it's not too far away that we did it. I'd like to explain it to you step by step. So first we connected to Vimachem. After that, we send an order from our EP system to SSM Vimachem. We assigned the order to the production line, performed the production, including the aggregation, labeling with our OCS devices. And after that, we send the order back to Vimachem. In the end, we commissioned the data and send it to Tracelink, and all those steps are documented with screenshots and explanations, and this also enters the validation package in the end. Yeah, to sum it up, I'd like to give you 5 key points for success in remote projects from my perspective and also from my experience so far. And also to sum it up what I said today, one major factor is definitely that you should design your solution. You have to conduct vendor assessment, check their experience with remote projects so far. You have to ensure that the technology and the interfaces are compatible. But you also have to keep regular project topics in mind. You have to set timelines, set up your own expectations. The second factor of success in my mind is you have to align internal and external teams. You have to set up the teams internally. You have to get colleagues from production, quality assurance, and from the IT department together. You have to execute the project kickoff, and our experience showed that weekly meetings are very helpful because you get constant feedback, and I think it's very helpful to encourage that because yeah, in our mind, this is a very productive approach. The third topic is you have to utilize technology. You can use VPN or TeamViewer to connect. For the production line, you can use a VNC, so everyone can see what happens on the line, or can also do adjustments if necessary. And of course, collaboration tools are an important aspect, like we use right now. The fourth, or another factor of success, is you have to test before you execute. Because I think this can save time. It's important to do frequent testing because I think it's key for success for the validation and production in the end. Doing it remotely has a few benefits, or a lot of benefits. It's faster and often less costly. And the last area is the rollout. You have to develop a rollout plan and finalize it in the end. Now I'd like to hand over the word to Alex, who gives you a deeper insight from the Vimachem perspective.
Thank you, Niels. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. If you can please move to the next slide.
Sure.
Okay. Hey guys. So I'm Alex Vidras. I'm with Vimachem. I wish I could be in the room today with you. I attended the event last year and it was a great experience. Unfortunately, this year, due to COVID, it wasn't possible, but hi to everyone and thank you for organizing such a great event. And thank you, Niels, for the first introduction. What I want to do in the next few slides is explain you a little bit of how we achieve implementing remote work. For those of you that you may not know us, we offer the Vimachem Level 3, which is a true agnostic Level 3 in terms of line and network connections. This means that we are able to connect to any level 2 and any level 4. We have great global partnerships with Wipotec and with Tracing as the Medice architecture, with more than 50 joint customers all over the world. But we also have interfaces to other line vendors. Pretty much we have an interface to any big line or network vendor out there. The reason why we're able to do that is because in 2014, when we introduced our software, we saw that the market is moving to serialization being an operational day-to-day activity. So having operational excellence in mind, we built by design the tool to feature adaptive technology. So essentially we are able, using the exact same software, but by modifying the backend, to connect to any line with any kind of technology needed, XML, SQL, direct connection, soon OpenSCS, any kind of technology that the line demands, we can utilize it. So essentially we can connect to any line without needing any modifications from the line vendor or from the network vendor. And this is really important with serialization nowadays becoming a day-to-day operation and similar to an MES approach in mind, which we took from the beginning. The same way that an MES can not only connect to one line vendor, the same way a level 3 should be able to connect to any line. Next slide, please, Niels. Thank you. So let's talk a little bit about how we are doing remote implementation. So firstly, as you saw with Medice, where we did the project fully remotely in 2018, and we have been working since then fully remotely. We have been doing fully remotely implementations for 5 years now. And only during the COVID era, only in the last 6 months, we've done multiple projects in 10 countries. We did projects in USA, we did projects in Japan, in Germany, in Malaysia, in Australia, so truly all over the world. The way we do that to account for the time difference is through different offices. We have 3 offices in Greece, in USA, and in Japan, and then occasionally we have local partners that can help us with primarily language barrier. For example, in Japan, we have a good local partner that can help us primarily with translation activities. Beyond that, in terms of how we have organized the software and the technology and the services around it. So from the beginning, we designed the implementation project as a consulting project. So similarly to a consulting project, you have a kickoff meeting. You spend the first week to do interviews to understand who the customer is and roles and responsibilities and align the team. So we always do a kickoff meeting. We always start by conducting interviews to better understand the client and the dynamics. And then we set up the rest of the project in a true consulting way with weekly check-ins. If the project is more intense in terms of deadlines with multiple check-ins during the week. And then we run the implementation in a true agile way. We organize it around 3 sprints. So essentially sprint number 1, after the software is in place, is all the connection testing. We start with connection testing to the line and to the level 4 to make sure that all the interfaces play well. And after we finalize the connection testing phase, we proceed in the validation phase. As Neil said, we organize around validating end-to-end. We know that the customers need end-to-end, and we know us being in the middle, being the level 3, we need to take care of the interfaces to the line and to the level 4. So our validation package includes test cases for the complete interfaces. Of course, we design those hand in hand with the client team, and after the client team executes, we use remote technology to essentially validate end-to-end with them. So we do remote connection to our software, we do VNC connections to the machines, and essentially we have the customer operator down at the shop floor, and we are connected to both the line software, and we are able together with the client to do end-to-end validation. So the combination of the software that is easy to use, the technology that is adaptive, and the people and the processes that are aligned around remote implementations, we are very successfully for conducting remote implementations for a while now. So COVID wasn't big of a change for us. Of course, it was a big of a change for the industry overall. But together with our partners, primarily the line vendors that had to execute remote FATs and SATs for the first time, we collaborated and we did it. Next slide, please, Niels. So just a few of the technology aspects of SSM that I think are important. So as I told you, because we entered the serialization space fairly late in late 2014, early 2015, we saw essentially all the issues and all the missing elements from the other level 3s, and we essentially designed the level 3 to focus on operational excellence. So, and for us, since we are managing lines, we know that the biggest cost and the biggest driver for improvement is to minimize the line downtime. So the whole software structure has been around minimizing line downtime. We are able to support customers with designing externally in our level 3, the articles and the packaging designs. They are able to retrieve them from lines, publish them to lines, and overall use the level 3 as a centralized label management and designer tool. We offer virtual environments both for the lines and for the level 4. So essentially, especially for CMOs or for MAHs as well, we are able to offer to the customer a virtual validated packaging line that they can use to do end-to-end testing. This is very useful in order not to stop the lines for tests that can still include line data. We are able to essentially, when we download data from the level 4 systems, master data, company data, or product data in the setup phase, for example, of a new product, we run a virtual production where basically we download serial numbers, 5 serial numbers or 10 serial numbers. This is configurable. We essentially serialize and aggregate them, and then we commission them back to the level 4. And we do that in the product setup phase to make sure that all the systems are aligned, and when the actual production happens or when the actual test happens, nothing bombs. So there is a lot of features essentially that are aligned, minimizing downtime. I think that's the important part. The other part is, of course, the software is designed to be easy to use and stable, because we know that operators and line supervisors and packaging supervisors need to have something that is easy to use and comprehensive. Finally, we offer the ability to do rework from the level 3 and to execute warehouse operations. So we have a fully integrated warehouse module in the level 3 that can run in the warehouse. so you can aggregate, disaggregate, decommission, and overall run warehouse operations. Next slide, please, Niels. So finally, and I think that's the last slide. So as I said, from the beginning, operational excellence was the primary focus. Of course, compliance was to be achieved, but compliance was taken as a given at the time, and luckily it has been achieved by most of the industry right now. So the focus has been for a while now in improving line downtime. So reporting, analytics, a fully integrated OEE module, and of course the ability to extract as much data from the line as possible. So depending on the line vendor, we utilize all the data that the line makes available. Of course, with Wipotec, we truly get all the line data. We are able to retrieve camera grading. We are able to retrieve rejection reasons. We are able to retrieve carton weight in the cases where the Wipotec machine has an integrated check weigher, and we're able to report on all that. So we can go much above compliance, and reporting an OE, of course, is a key focus for us and also for our line vendor partners. And I think that was it. Niels, I think that's the last slide, correct? Maybe if you can please. Yes. Perfect. So thank you very much, everyone. And thank you, Niels, for the great presentation. And we're available if there is any question.